Top of the morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Mike Prince Show. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, your host for this adventurous ride. It is July 18th. I was a day off on yesterday, but it is July 18th, 2017. And we have in store for you today a response on the message line about Ezekiel Elliot. Hear about that. We'll talk a little bit about the potential faith of Carmelo Anthony. We'll discuss role models, going back to an old quote from Charles Barkley, and a whole lot more right here on this morning's edition of the Mike Prince Show. It is a variety show that is dedicated mostly to sports, but we do cover a whole bunch of things from here and there and everywhere. We try to give you a thinker's point of view on how things can go versus how they are going, and whatever else can seem to make a little sense. It is the fastest 30 minutes in Prairie View, Texas. Of course, we're located in Prairie View, Texas, home of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers and home of the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Good morning to each and every one. How's everybody doing on this lovely Tuesday? Hope that you are getting things in perspective as we are almost, believe it or not, ready for Hump Day, baby. We'll get Hump Day. It is the middle of the week. We do have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week message line that you can dial into, and it is simply 713-570-6736. You get a chance to cover up and talk about whatever it is that is on your mind, in your heart, and get some responses and some rebuttals. We got not rebuttals, but rebuttals. And we have a message line response today on the Ezekiel Elliot story on yesterday's. It's a call from the Dallas, Texas area. So we will go ahead and turn over to that right now, and then we'll continue to talk about it and go into a little bit more on today's show.
Hey guys, how you doing? This is Andre Davis. I want to give a special thanks to the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, for allowing me to leave this message on the message line, specifically talking about Ezekiel Elliot, Dallas Cowboys running back, and the incident involving the bar situation that happened a few nights ago. We are starting to see a pattern here with the Dallas Cowboys running back, Ezekiel Elliot, and it's not a very good one. Two problems that I have with this entire situation. One, dealing with the coaching as well as Ezekiel himself. From a coaching standpoint, I believe I was listening to Mike and Mike on the radio, and a couple of questions that they asked dealing with Coach Garrett, and it was in one of the questions they asked, as a coach, how do you get Zeke to settle down and stop him from doing the things that he's been doing and to get his name out of the headlines? Well, maybe I'm just simple-minded, but personally, I don't feel that it takes a genius from a coaching standpoint to get your one who's your star player, your star running back, to be able to sit him down and say, hey, man, your name has been in the headline far too much. It's time for you. It's time for you to cut all that out, man. I mean, you don't understand that you're hurting the team and you're not putting the team first when you're just thinking about yourself and you're going out to these different bars and you're getting in all these incidents and these problems and everything like that. As a coach, your job is not just what goes on the field. You have an off-field duty as well in terms of doing everything you can to keep your players protected. I know that they're grown men. They're grown men, and there's only so much you can do. But I feel like there's more can we contribute in that aspect from a coaching standpoint. Now, from a player standpoint, Ezekiel, I mean, it almost breaks my heart as a Cowboys fan, but I try not to be biased when these things come out. And simply put, as a player standpoint, man, you guys' season has been over since November. I mean, you guys didn't make. I mean, you made the playoffs technically, but I mean, you made it past the first round, but only because you had a bye, because your season was so good and you would play in the first round, but you got knocked out in the second round by Green Bay. But nonetheless, your season has been over since November. You had November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. You had 6 months at least, in my opinion, to kind of get that club scene, that bar scene, that partying scene pretty much out of your system. I mean, training camp is getting ready to start on the 22nd. Today is the 18th. There's no reason, whatsoever that you should still be out in bars and clubs and partying as if the off season just begun. Hey, man, the training camp is getting ready to start July 22nd. Your mind should be focused. You already have people out there telling you that along with you and Dak Prescott, that it's unlikely that you guys will have the same breakout season that you guys had last year. It is unlikely that will happen again. So with all that said, it's just a sad thing to see. And there was a thing back in the beginning of the off season on St. Patrick's Day on the boat with the young lady and the cleavage and everything like that. There was another incident at another bar that he was at with Tony Romo. Investigation is still going on about stuff that happened before last season even begun with Ezekiel Elliot, and they're still talking about suspensions may possibly occur from that situation. The only possible thing that I can pull, positive thing that I can pull from this situation is the fact that the guy that, quote unquote, that Ezekiel punched, he was so intoxicated that he could not remember who punched him. And it was his friend that told the police officers when they arrived on the scene that it was that Dallas Cowboys running back. So the guy was the actual victim was too intoxicated to remember who punched him. Of course, by the time that the police officers showed up, Ezekiel Elliott was not there. So that is the only, and it still may not work in his favor. It may work in his favor. We're not sure yet because investigations are still going on. But that is the only positive that I can pull from that situation. And they say that Ezekiel was defending some girl. I'm not sure if it was his girlfriend or not, but he was defending some girl who was at the party with him that kind of got into it with the guy who ended up getting punched, quote unquote, by Ezekiel Elliott. But just from that act alone, that just further lets me know that, and we know that he's 21 or 22 and he's young. Some would even say he's 22 going on 17 with the way he's been acting. But when you're out at these restaurants and these bars and you're having parties and everything like that, I am sure that there is security there of some sort. At that point in time, if there's an altercation going on with somebody from your party and an outside party, that's when you go get the security, whoever's in charge at the restaurant or at the bar, whoever owns the club or anything like that. That's when you pull them to the side and say, hey, man, I'm trying to enjoy a nice evening with my people, and you got this guy over here who's causing a disturbance with my party. Is there a way you can handle this so I can get back to my party and get back to enjoying my party with my people? That's when you have crossed over not only from maturity, but that's when you start understanding that, hey, I know that I'm a star. I know that I have a spotlight on me. No way impossible should I even attempt to get an altercation with this guy or anybody else from that sort. But just taking matters into your own hands and punching the guy, even if the guy was getting involved with the young lady at his party or anything like that, and he felt like he was stepping in to, play that protective role and, and everything like that. On one hand, I understand slightly. On the other hand, I personally feel like if there were other measures that could have taken place and there were other solutions that you you could have went for other than punching the guy, if indeed you did punch the guy. Again, it's just speculations from the friend because the guy was so intoxicated he couldn't even remember. But that's my little spiel for that. Again, thank you, Dr. Mike Prince, for allowing me to leave this message line. Again, if you want to leave a message line, dial 713-570-6736. Be sure to visit his website at OBN-Radio.com and KTRRadio.com. This is Andre Davis, and thank you, and have a good day.
And we do thank Andre Davis for leaving a very passionate, detailed message. Number one, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm trying to make sure that the Steelers go ahead and get their business taken care of with Le'Veon Bell. But nonetheless, it goes back to an old saying that Charles Barkley was criticized for many years ago, and he simply said, I am not a role model. Are we asking too much for Ezekiel and other young stars in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball? Or is there some type of accountability and responsibility that comes with the fortune and fame? Now, of course, he is a young man. I can remember being 21, 22 years old. I didn't do the brightest of things. But at some stage, someone needs to be in this young man's ear. Someone needs to be saying, hey, brother, we got to do better than what we're doing. Thank Andre again for his spiel and take on the Ezekiel Elliot story. We'll be keeping an ear to the ground. Hopefully everything will work out in his favor, and he'll be able to get back to football. A natural, gifted athlete, and sometimes it's the things and the attributes that are your blessing that could end up being your curse. You know, your strength could be your weakness, and that warrior's mentality, that short fuse, that burst of energy. And sometimes when those levels are not balanced out at the wrong place at the wrong time, you can end up in a real rough situation. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Carmelo Anthony and his particular situation. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show, the Tuesday edition. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm LaTanya Chapel. I am a proud graduate of Prairie View A&M University. I am the local agent for Farmers Insurance here in Hempstead, Texas, waiting to handle your insurance needs. Here at the Chapel Agency, we offer affordable and reliable insurance for your auto, home, life, or business all across Texas. We believe in taking care of our customers like family. We will help you find the right combination of personalized insurance coverage at just the right price to fit your needs. So come on down and meet our friendly staff or give us a call at 979-826-3026. Again, 979-826-3026.
Are you looking for an affordable way to increase your business? Let the Open Mic Broadcast Network lead the way. For a customized, affordable ad campaign, call 832-213-8824.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network is a community-based radio station that was established in 2002. We have been dedicated to local, regional, and community programming with coverage for high school, collegiate sports, ministries, and information. Our goal is to provide quality, productive, and positive programming that reflects the community that we serve. Visit our website, KTORradio.com and OBN-Radio.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tuesday edition of the Mike Prince Show. I'm the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is OBN Radio. The message line you just heard from Andre Davis. It is 713-570-6736. You can leave your message line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as we stated, if it is of substance and it is of cleanness, we'll be able to add you into the rotation just as we did for Andre, talking about Ezekiel Elliot and Cowboy Nation. And moving on to the NBA, Carmelo Anthony is more than likely going to be, at least for the time being, remaining in New York as the Knicks have stopped the pursuit of escape, if you will, for Carmelo Anthony. It was a 4-team trade being discussed with the Houston Rockets. And they said, wait a minute, let's go back and revisit this thing. I personally never did buy into the Houston Rockets ending up grabbing Carmelo Anthony. I personally still believe that the best move for Anthony, if he's talking about going to NBA final, would be for him to yoke up with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers to represent from the East. But that's a whole another event. So they're going to hold things up right now and say, hey, Carmelo, let's go back, revisit this thing, and go back. Now, for me personally, this is a whole lot of drama for a guy who plays offense only. Carmelo Anthony is not a defensive juggernaut. And I know I don't profess to be an NBA expert, but I know enough and watch enough about it. Carmelo is a scorer. This is also true. But you've got to intensify your game. You've got to step your defensive game up if you want to be the complete player, if you want to be the man, if you want to be the franchise-type guy. I just don't see that in Carmelo Anthony. Exceptional athlete, exceptional scorer, pretty good guy from what I'm understanding. But as far as being able to take a team and put them on your back, I don't see that X factor in Carmelo Anthony. I could be wrong. The situation may not have been as formidable for him, but, you know, I didn't see it with the Nuggets. I didn't see it with the Knicks. I don't see it being with the Rockets, because if he goes to the Rockets, yes, you have Harden, you have CP3 now, but you're going to also be asking him to step it up. I just don't think he is a Batman-type guy. He's more of a Robin guy. This is just my opinion. There's no knock on the brother. The brother's definitely got talent, or he wouldn't be in the league as long as he's been in the league. But there are certain X factors that are needed, and guys either have it or they don't. And I don't see Carmelo. It's just like if you're talking about money players, clutch players, we can go back to Michael Jordan. Of course, he had that it factor. Magic Johnson had that it factor. Larry Bird had that it factor. You could even go advance a little bit. LeBron James has that it factor. When we're talking about that it factor, this is a guy that can take control of a whole entire game or series and change the entire dynamics of it. I don't see that with Carmelo Anthony. Not that I'm knocking Carmelo Anthony. It's just not what I've seen. And maybe I hadn't watched him enough. But from little glimpses that I've seen and gathered with him, the brother has to reinvent himself, if you will. And maybe that's what the Knicks wanted to talk to him about. I don't know, but they're going to be watching to see how things will unfold with that in the very near future. Meanwhile, we have a future talk about Prairie View and their 43rd annual convention. And that's going to be coming up here real soon. We're going to take us a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get a little bit more detail about that and a whole lot more that is developing in the world of SWAC as we know it. You listen to the Mike Prince Show on Tuesday, July 18th on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Larry's Automotive, located in the Field Store community of Waller County, is equipped to handle any automotive service or repair on your diesel or gas engine, truck, car, tractor, trailer, or RV motorhome. With in-house financing and scheduled service reminders, Larry's Automotive can handle it all. So give them a call at 936-931-5566. 936-931-5566, or look them up online at larrysautomotive.net. Larry's Automotive is an approved AAA Texas repair facility employing ASC certified technicians and a 2-time Better Business Bureau Awards of Excellence winner in automotive service. That's because they believe in running an honest business with a no-problem guarantee. Remember, every service visit comes with their 12-month, 12,000-mile nationwide warranty on parts and labor. That satisfaction worth the drive. So stop on by or call today, 936-931-5566, 936-931-5566.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show, radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, right here on Tuesday morning, July 18th, with the Mike Prince Show coming to you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network on our website at OBN-Radio.com or KTOR-Radio.com. You can listen by way of TuneIn Radio by simply typing in Open Mic Broadcast Network. That is OPEN, capital MIC, all one word, Broadcast Network. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Open Mic Broadcast Network as well. And what happens is when you cannot catch the show live, it is going to be saved and put up on the YouTube. You can listen to it that way, or you can simply go to our archive page on the OBNRadio.com site and click on the shows. The Mike Prince Show, we have the Sports Report, we have games that we broadcast that are being archived, we have other community talk shows, and you'll be able to always stay in tune. As a matter of fact, you can even subscribe to our Spreaker account, so that's SPREAKER, and look for Open Mic Broadcast Network, subscribe to it, and you will never miss a post that is being delivered here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And speaking of never missing a post, the 43rd Annual Prairie View A&M University National Alumni Association convention starts this week, July 19th through the 22nd in Houston, Texas. It's too late for registration, but you can still send donations and support of scholarships available for PV Nation students, and that number is 936-857-5817. And you've heard me say this time after time again, but I'm truly excited about it. I've been asked to be the keynote speaker for the breakfast on July 22nd in Houston. It starts at 9 a.m., and it is a complete joy for me to be a part of this. And that breakfast will start, as we mentioned, at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I get a chance to speak and share a passion for the university and help impact and mold my life, and get a chance to reminisce with alumni and just have a grand old time as we get ready for this 43rd convention for 2017. So much going on. Football season right around the corner. As you heard, we just completed Media Day this past week, an exceptional outing, great interviews, budding relationships coming from coaches and everything else, and it's just an exciting time. It's a good place here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and we're truly excited, truly thankful, and proud for the work that we're able to put together, and we continue to look and want to expand that brand and expand that coverage. And speaking of expanding our coverage, we do want to remind you that the Tuskegee Golden Tigers will have their season carried right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network that season. For the football season, kicking off the 2017 campaign. They will be on OBNRadio.com, and it'll be on Channel 2 for those slated games. We're going to have all the rosters, not rosters, but all the schedules coming out real soon for the teams of our coverage area. We, of course, take care of local and regional high school coverage. We got one more school that we're dotting I's and crossing T's on in the local area that we're going to be adding to the network. So we're always constantly keeping our head on the swivel for vast improvement and things of that nature. So it is always something going on here with the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and want to be sure that you keep up with our volleyball show coming up in the fall, simply called The Dig. The Dig will be featuring all Southwestern Athletic Conference coaches and their reports, player interviews, keeping up with standings and score results and everything else that are involved that is attached to SWAC volleyball. We're also going to be having some MEAC interactions going on with that, because volleyball is a very exciting sport. It is in the fall, just as football, but we know football is supreme. It is the king. It's the boss, if you will, of collegiate athletics, but we want to do our due diligence and introduce to some and present to others a very fascinating game in the world of volleyball. And with that being said, we want to take us another quick break or two, and we'll come back with our final segment for this morning's edition of the Mike Prince Show.
Hi, this is Penny Lucas White, head women's volleyball coach at the Alabama State University. I'm calling to inform you that volleyball kickoff date for all SWAC teams are August 25th. We also will have our first SWAC roundup that will be hosted by Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas on September 22nd through the 24th. Then it will be followed up with the second roundup of the SWAC in Montgomery, Alabama on October 20th through the 22nd on the campus of Alabama State University. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Open Mic Broadcast Network is a community-based radio station that was established in 2002. We have been dedicated to local, regional, and community programming with coverage for high school, collegiate sports, ministries, and information. Our goal is to provide quality, productive, and positive programming that reflects the community that we serve. Visit our website, ktorradio.com and OBN-Radio.com.
How you doing? It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Want to let you know about the latest and the greatest going on at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We now have a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year message line. You simply dial 713-570-6736. Share your information, comments, tidbits, whatever it is going to help enhance our coverage through our local and regional high school and collegiate coverage. Once again, that number is 713-570-6736. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we do thank Andre Davis for being a part of the message line on this morning, leaving his tidbits on the Ezekiel situation in the Dallas, Texas area. And hopefully the young man will get things lined up and taken care of. Speaking of getting taken care of, I always state it, but it is the fastest 30 minutes in Prairie View, Texas. We are just about out of time on today, but want to remind you, football season will be kicking off officially. It was kicked off with the SWAC Media Day. The MEAC Media Day will be coming up on July 28th. I believe the SIAC has theirs on the 1st of July. So it is beyond a shadow of a doubt football season. So remember, you can keep it right here all season long at the Open Mic Broadcast Network as we give you the latest and the greatest from the Southwest Athletic Conference, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. We're run out of time today, but don't forget that you can meet us at the same place, same time, tomorrow morning, if the Lord's will and he delays his coming. Until the next time, you be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.